Is the internet everything that was promised in the 90s? My fellow Gen Xers, I'd like to know what you think now, since it's been around for 30 years, we'll say, to the masses, right? Where everybody had access and the World Wide Web fully went live, 100%, fully connected in 1991, was it, when they finally got all the separate networks? I know people say, well, it's been around for a lot since the 60s. Well, no, they were various networks that weren't actually interconnected, and they finally connected them, and then it went commercial, and then it went live for everybody, and then you got the first web browser and the first websites. And that's what I'm talking about. Was it everything that was promised? Because originally it went live in its motto, right? The World Wide Web. Let's share what we know. Well, is that what it is now? I mean, really, did it live up to the expectation of being this great bastion of knowledge where everybody could access everything they wanted to know and understand and get to know it? Or has it become a place for the deranged, people that get buried? It creates people to become mentally ill, or people don't understand the information that they are actually accessing and take it the wrong way. Is the information real? Nobody knows anymore. Everyone talks all the time, fake news. It's not ever really fake news. Everything takes a spin on it based on the person who observed it and is telling that story to push an angle that they want. And the internet really allowed that agenda to get pushed. And I don't think that really was its original intention. And I don't think it lives up to what it was. If it truly was just what they touted before, the great information highway where you could access everything, libraries all over the world, textbooks everywhere, all that information put online, because it was to make people smarter, increase the average intelligence by allowing all this information for everybody to access and learn to do things. And in reality, I don't think that's what's actually happened. It seems to me society as a whole is becoming a lot dumber. Everybody gets buried in their own little world. They won't go outside it. You know, you really get caught up now in the classic echo chamber, especially online, because no matter where it's designed, whether you Google or you come here on YouTube or any of the other sites anywhere, when you go and look up something, well, then that's what they just keep feeding you and keep feeding you. And you get sucked in down a rabbit hole in this little echo chamber where all you hear is the same thing over and over again. And it warps your mind. Now, was that what was promised when the internet came live? No, I don't think it lived up to expectation at all. I think as a whole, if you called it a giant experiment on human social behavior and how it would change, I would call it a failure, because I think it slowly creates a disintegration of society because people are actually so disconnected with what goes on in the world and reality now that they just feed off what they see. Now, I understand the hypocrisy of what I'm saying, given the fact that I am sitting here talking to you guys over the internet with a video loaded on YouTube, pitching my point of view, which a lot of you might already have. So that's why this video got sent to you to see, and it creates that whole echo chamber idea. But on a side note, myself, I've always been one where I use it because you have to access the other side. You have to see 6 views of one point to fully understand. Because like they say, an event is different for everybody based on your point of observation. Okay, even the time frame of the event happening is different based on your point of observation. So the internet changed a lot of that because there are a lot of things that people never ever would have observed and wouldn't have been a big deal, and now is. A big one with that is it don't matter where you are now. There are places, yes, where crime is out of control, but then there are other places where crime isn't out of control and it's pretty normal. Okay, and I've had it, and then you'll have one thing happen. One thing. I lived in this one city one time for a while that had just over 100,000 people. And on the second last day of the year, we had our first murder of the year, of that year, but it was almost 17 months in between murders in the city. Statistically, if you're over 100,000, you're going to have at least a couple a year. Least. But we had this great big, but everybody went nuts. What is the world coming to? This city is so dangerous. I can't believe it. I was in that neighborhood 6 months ago. That could have happened to me. And it's not because that event, it has to do with the internet. Okay, everybody absorbs all this horrible news from all over the world, and because it's so accessible and it's right in your face, you equate it to as if it's happening outside your door, and it's not. People have to reconnect locally in order to deal early with such access to information like the internet. You have to just shut it down sometimes. I walk away from it all the time. I mean, other than when I come here and I go to record the video and I upload that, you know, I try not to. I spend way more time sitting at the machine when I'm not off building something than I probably should be, you know, and because it's just kind of what the world has become. It's become so ingrained in society now that that's all anybody does. It's like, oh, did you see this video on YouTube? Oh, did you see this post on Facebook? Which thankfully, no, because I never go on there. But did it really? Because it seems to me that the internet, instead of being a bastion of great access to information, which a lot of that information is still out there, but they bury so much of it deep now. It's buried below all them cat videos and porn sites and, you know, idiot challenges where people eat Tide Pods or walk up milk crates and wind up paralyzed. I mean, what idiot doesn't realize what's going to happen to them? I mean, we might have done dumb shit when we were kids as Gen X, but we didn't do idiotic stuff. You know, we didn't have the whole, like, the challenge. Yo, side tip on this for anybody who wanted to know, if you, fellow Gen Xers, you'll get this. Younger people, you might not understand this one, but everybody knew that something was going to go down when you heard "Hold my beer," because somebody was about to do something dumb. And how you knew it was going to go catastrophic and be an epic failure is when somebody would speak up about how dangerous it is what they're about to do, and the next words out of that person's mouth would be like, "I know what I'm doing." Guaranteed you were calling an ambulance. Anyway, I don't want to go on anymore. I just want to get your opinion. Yes or no? Do you believe the internet is everything that was promised and pitched to us when it went worldwide live? Or do you think it fell short and it kind of failed and it's lost its way because society has turned it into an idiotic playground where most of what's on there isn't actual knowledge and it serves no real purpose except to be a distraction, which maybe was the original purpose of the internet anyway. Distract the masses, you can do whatever you want to them, and they won't even realize it's happening until it's too late. Anyway, that's all I got to say at this time. This is Drac saying I'll talk to you later, and bye-bye for now.